Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. I sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. Welcome to the channel, whether you are returning or whether this is the first time you are clicking on to one of these readings. We have a very wonderful reading for you today. This is a timeless reading, however, whenever we are conducting this reading, which is today, we are coming into the magical month of October, which means Samhain or Halloween is at the very end, and it's a beautiful month for getting in touch with magic and imagination and working with other realms. The veil is the thinnest in and around this time of year, especially around this time. So I thought to really invoke our imaginations here, we would do a reading about what magical realm are you from. We have many different existences and of course many different times on earth one way or another. So a lot of us are old souls, but also we have lived in other realms and we have other clans, within other realms, fairies, unicorns, witches. That's not really another realm, but it could be. So we are going to discover where you are truly from. What magical realm are you truly from? And whichever magical realm jumps up and claims you today, they are going to give you messages. So what is their message to you right now? What do you need to know about them? So at the very least, we'll open our imaginations and let it fly. So as usual, we have three piles, pile 1, 2, and 3. And what I have done here is there are different cards. Each pile has different cards from different decks, but they're all exactly the same. They're just arranged differently. And these are all the different magical realms that you could be from. We'll be choosing a couple of them. And then I just placed different magical realms on the top. So take as much time to figure out which realm is yours, which pile is yours. If you need to go ahead and pause the video and come back to self, please do that. Take as much time as you need. As always, the timestamps will be down below. And for those of you who are still here, let's take a lovely deep breath and hold for a second and release. It's so important to ground your energy, let everything go. The more you are in tune with your own energy and your own heart, and your own intuition, the more these readings resonate always. So yeah, and just whichever pile is calling you for whatever reason, whichever pile. So let's get right into your reading. We're going to take pile 2 and pile 3 for now. So if you chose pile 1, then again, what magical realm are you from? And then when we discover which magical realm you are from, what is their message to you? So I'm actually going to close my eyes for this. You'll see this on screen, but I don't want to see any of these cards because each card represents a realm, and I don't want to be a part of this. This is just for you, so this will be a complete surprise for me too. All right, pile 1, that's amazing. So you are part witch and part unicorn. So your messages are, you've got the Samhain, you've got the death card. So Samhain traditionally in witchcraft or in the witchcraft legacies is the brand new year. It becomes a new year. That's when witches have their new year cycle. So we usually started at the beginning of the year, and then there's Chinese New Year. There's many different variants of this. And of course, you know, your solar returns, your birthday is a new year too. So you are coming into a brand new understanding of yourself, shedding the old completely. And even though this is a timeless reading, this reading is coming out in and around when Mercury is in retrograde. So a lot of things might be coming up for you in order for you to release them and move through them. But you have a magical element to you. And here you have 27 ascension flames, merge with light, ignite keys and codes. So part witch, part unicorn, part one, which is absolutely wonderful. Magical in different ways. The sort of the light energy of the magic is in and around you, but also the sort of this mysteriousness of wanting to know more and delving deep is also there too. Now, there is some well, maybe depends on how you see unicorns. They are magical and they are beautiful, absolutely, but they're also extremely fierce in some ways. They don't dumb themselves down at all one way or another. And, they sort of walk around their realm knowing that, whoever will accept them, whoever won't. Whoever understands them and sees them will understand them and see them. And for people who don't believe, that's totally fine. But they don't dumb themselves down in any way, shape, or form. So let's get yourself some more messages from these realms. That is so fun. Okay, so we're going to start off with the witch realm first. Get you some more messages from this realm. So let's start off from this. But these are beautiful messages. You're obviously moving into a new way of being with the ascension, merging the light, ignite key codes. And then you have the lady goddess with the feminine energy and earth grounding. So there is definitely a need to come back to, or a wanting to come back to, a way in which you want to see your life and conduct your life and do things on your own terms. Now, for those of you who are wondering if this is possible, absolutely. This is a reading to let you know what is their message to you. Everything that you want is absolutely there for you. Now, some of you getting very clearly the message. Now, as we move into these movements and ascensions, as we ascend, sometimes it can be a little uncomfortable, at least physically. As we're upgrading, it can feel a little uncomfortable. And of course, as we're moving from one source of one way of seeing ourselves to another, as we're shedding, it can feel uncomfortable too. So some of you may be not moving out of that. You're in the groove, you're in the movement, so it's going to happen. But some of you may be resisting it, feeling as though either things are feeling as though they're sort of falling apart at the same time, or trying to cling on to just a little bit of the old because it's familiar, and you have a couple of days of feeling great, everything's going to be fine. A little bit of doubt comes in, and then you go back and you're swaying this way or another. Here to tell you again, the messages are for you to let you know that everything that you want is right on the other side of that door. It's coming in. Keep the faith. The way in which you want to do things is absolutely fine. Do it that way. In the past, you've had to compromise, or you felt as though you needed to compromise. I want this, but I'm willing to do this in order to get there. There's no compromising. You don't need to compromise yourself in any way, or your time particularly. I'm being told your time. You don't need to compromise your time. You don't need to do what you don't want to do in order to pull in what you want. Have trust. Also getting back into the feminine aspect of self, really tuning in to your intuition here. This is what's going to move you forward. The practical mind comes in, tries to protect. It also works with the ego, especially when we are moving into ascension and we're moving into a new version of ourselves. The ego comes in and the mind comes in, the pragmatic mind, and all it wants to do is protect us, because really everything is kind of falling away, and they're conditioned to look for similarities, whatever's happened before. So it's always going to try and take you back a little bit. Now, it's never really going to be able to take you back, especially as we've already said, you're in this movement stance, or in this movement, you were in a stance moving forward. But it's a remnants of it, an echo of it could be coming in and just making you feel like, sometimes, I don't know if it's possible, this, that, and the other. Keep the faith. So work with your intuition, work with your third eye and your heart chakra there. You can do the manifestations too, to bring them in quicker from your heart chakra. Everything that you want. Imagine it in your mind's eye, and then imagine it going into your heart chakra and then manifesting from that heart chakra. A lot of people manifest from the sort of the mind chakra. Yes, hold it in your mind's eye, absolutely. But if you place it in your heart chakra, then it's not working through your ego. It's not working through your practical mind, which wants to control everything in a very specific way and a rather limited way. In order for you to move forward, and you're going to do this easily, you're going to move forward regardless. You've got the keys coming in, you've got the keys and the codes and the light coming in to move you forward. You have everything you need to move forward. Ground your energy and absolutely work with this heart chakra. That's going to bring you closer to what you want and bring in your manifestations quicker rather than going through the practical mind. Of course, we have to work with the ego and all of that. So let's get you some unicorn messages too. But you're absolutely going to achieve what it is that you want. Now, with the earth and the grounding, a lot of you have actually sowed the seeds for what you want. So you really do know what it is. And this has been coming for a while. Some of this could be, for want of a better term, really, old seeds that you have been planting one way or another for a really, really, really long time. Some of you since childhood. Now, you didn't necessarily think they would sprout one way or another because it wasn't a direct line of how you planted them. You planted seeds here, you planted seeds there, you planted seeds there. And the thing about you is you're very quick-minded. Now, imagination is vast and beautiful, and that quick-mindedness is wonderful, although sometimes your mind can be very heavy and in a loop with so many thoughts. So it's great for you to do meditation to sort of clear them or cleanse them or just come back to neutral sometimes, especially in and around this time when you get this reading. But regardless of that, because you like to go off in many different directions and you've done many different things, all of the seeds that you've planted sort of all over the place, there's a little bit of doubt that they can all come up together and they can all mesh together and give you what you want, because it seems to you like, but I planted over here and this doesn't seem to have much to do with that, and this doesn't have, like, trust. Everything's coming together the way that it should, and it all correlates. Everything that you've planted all correlates in ways that you could not have imagined. And again, when we're trying to manifest stuff, we often go through the mind's eye, which is practical and tries to control everything. So this is your practical mind saying, well, you've done all these seed things, how are they going to merge together? We've already merged into a brand new world. The old is not working anymore, so all of that is falling away. So you cannot really conceive right now how all of this can work together and produce results, the kind of results that you're really looking for, the kind of results that you've been working towards your whole life. But the universe can see it and it's supporting it, and the energy in the world and the universe is also supporting it. So you don't have to see how all of this correlates in order to move forward. You don't. Just trust that it will, and in magical ways too. So these two just absolutely popped out. So let's use these. Here we go. We just said number 13. It's a very lucky number. I'm actually born on the 13th. It's a very lucky number for me. I don't know how you feel about it yourself, but that's a wonderful number. And creative solutions, there you go. Think outside of the box, view things from a higher perspective. Again, exactly what we just said. Don't worry about how you think it's all going to work out. You can't conceive of it yet, but the universe can, and it's working on it. So all you have to do is trust. And honestly, thinking outside of the box is something you already do. So we don't even need to encourage you to do that. The real thing for you is not just to think outside of the box, which is something you already do. We just said that, but it's just to let it go. To let it go. You already have this quirky sensibility, this way of bringing things in and melding things together that seemingly didn't work before. And you've done this before, maybe on a smaller scale. You'll be able to do this again. So all you have to do is trust that it's being taken care of. We say on this channel all the time, there's a micro version and a macro version. The universe works on a macro version of things, being able to see it from a higher point of view, that everything's going to work out. Now, if you don't want to put your energy there, I don't know how it's going to work out. That's fine. Just surrender to it. Know that it can and know that it's possible. The creative solutions are out there, whether you see them or not. And before, these creative solutions maybe wouldn't have been able to hold too well in the world that we had before, but that's completely crumbling. So this new world that we've already moved into is going to be able to support all of your visions and have them come true the way in which you want and a little bit better. Oh, gorgeous. Pure intention, find clarity, surrender your ego. That's exactly what we just said, surrender. But also the other thing is, we want to remind you, now, if you're in this stance right now where you're feeling like, I don't know if I can do this, I want to be able to do this, but practically it doesn't seem possible. Some of you are actually in a situation where it's kind of do or die, or it feels like that. You're up against the wall. You feel as though the time is right, but you put everything into this, right? This is exactly where you need to be, and you're going to be okay. Just breathe through it. Remember, you have your support. You've got the number 2 there. You have your support both on the earth and with your guides. And remember, if you ever start doubting yourself, remember that pure intention. This is why I'm doing it. Success is only a part of it. It's really sort of an end result of what you're doing. Your pure intention is to be of help. Your pure intention is to spread your light, to be part of the world, and to actually help and raise the vibration of the world. Now, many of you will do this many different ways. A lot of you will be doing this in creative means, or again, melding creative means with other means that we haven't even really thought of yet, and putting them together. But come back to your pure intention. Your pure intention is to raise the vibration of the earth and somehow make everything okay. So you cannot fail if you keep concentrating on that. Don't concentrate on the success part. At this point, don't concentrate on, how much you need to make it, this, that, and the other. You concentrate on this. The universe is going to provide what you need when you need it to move forward. And as things start moving forward and start collecting that kinetic energy, then the success will come. So everything is going the way that it needs to, and you're exactly where you need to be. Now, you do have faith. You come in and out of it because we're all human, and that's perfectly natural. And before something big is delivered, sometimes we do have a little bit of crisis of faith. This happens. This is actually part of the process. So, again, you're exactly where you need to be. Have faith in that. But again, come back to this intention that you have and why you're doing it, and take your attention away from the success part. Not that you need the success, but if this is going well, then I can do this and that. Take your intention off of that and bring it back to why you're here. And again, you have the light, you have the keys, you have the codes, you have the ascension, you're in the right place at the right time, and you have this creative solution. You are here to be supported, to do exactly what you want to do, the way that you want to do it. So this is incredibly wonderful for you. So let's get you some specifics with this reading here with some tarot. So your message is, you've got this, without a shadow of a doubt. But hopefully this is coming at a time where if you were doubting yourself, there is no need. So under or in and around the Lady Goddess and your creative solutions, you have the Ace of Cups. Look at that. You have absolutely everything that you've been through, everything that you know is coming into these creative solutions and putting yourself out the way that you want to. Have faith. Even if you're not sure if the little steps are doing enough, they are. They are. A lot of stuff, particularly again, regardless of when you read this or come across this reading, this is in Mercury in retrograde. So we are reading in and around the time that's happening with the collective energy. Now, some of what it is that's going on for you and what will be delivered for you is happening off stage, as we say. So you may not be able to see how this is working for you, and you may not be able to sort of vet it and see how it's working, but it is absolutely working. And this is why it requires you to have faith at this point. Even the smallest baby steps moving you forward is creating these ripples and creating this energy. And you may not be able to see at the moment right now as you click onto and you're listening to this poem, you may not be able to see all of the endings coming to fruition, like how this is going to work out, but it is working out for you. Keep on with those baby steps. They are enough, and you are on the right path, and you are moving in the right direction. Again, a lot of you feel as though you've gone off in different directions. How do you bring that all in? Every experience that you've had, even if it felt a little off kilter, or I don't even know why I did that, is going to come in and play into how you work with your business, how you work on presenting yourself or being part of the world. It is something that you needed to learn. All experiences were necessary for you, even if you had them off the beaten track or off the beaten path, so to speak. So don't worry about any of it. If you feel as though you need to take a step back and move a little slower, that's fine. Speeding up the process at this point is not going to bring anything quicker into your life. Really sounding out into your own heart, again, manifesting from the heart chakra, not from the mind anymore, will bring it quicker. But as long as your energy is aligned, that's how it will bring it forward. So it's not to say that we don't want any action from you. These small baby steps are absolutely fine, but don't feel as though you have to run ahead and get everything done on your list. That's not how you're going to bring it in quicker. In fact, that energy could sort of destabilize a little bit and just bring your energy out of alignment. So just go with your inner feeling, again, with the Lady Goddess and your intuition. You've got the Lovers here. We also have, let's get it, with the pure intention with the 2 here. So there's a few different ways to read this, because this is a general reading. There is a coming together of different aspects of your personality that are coming together, that are melding and healing in an absolutely beautiful way, which is the death moving into rebirth here. So this is the last remnants of what you need to do in order to create the life that you want. And part of this is trusting yourself. And obviously, trusting yourself is connected to trusting the universe. And all of this is trusting your path too, trusting that everything will be okay, and trusting that the timing is right, and that for you, coming into this understanding that everything that you want, you deserve. You're worthy of it. You've worked for it, and the timing is right. Absolutely. Some of you get down on yourself. Oh, I don't know if I have enough intuition. I don't know if I have enough knowledge. There's always something with you sometimes with power one, trying to get it all together. Again, that's a perfectly human trait, but we want to remind you that sometimes, you don't have to wait to share yourself with the world to know absolutely everything. You don't need to be an expert. You have enough knowledge to get out there to do what you want to do. All you have to do is do it, and you learn and grow with your audience and with being on the outside, because it is the external world that we're talking about, you integrating fully into it. So you have exactly what you need. So this melding of 2 opposite sides, it doesn't feel like divine masculine and divine feminine. That you've got down. This is the trusting of oneself and trusting that you deserve what you want. The melding of those are absolutely dynamite for you now. Allow that to happen. Now, for some of you, it literally is somebody else coming in for you. And this person is worthy of your energy. This person will be the king to your queen, or queen to your king, or king to king and queen to queen, or however you want to put it or say it. It will be your significant counterpart. Now, for some of you, you may have already just met them, or you're in and around that energy. And for some of you, it's on the horizon. Otherwise, it would not have shown up in this reading. Now, this often happens when you start your life anew, which is essentially what we're talking about. All aspects of life can change. New relationship, new business, even moving, this, that, and the other. It often happens all together, which is why sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. So if this is happening for you, it's all good. Don't worry about it. Take a deep breath. It'll all level out. So if this person is coming in and around you, this person is definitely your counterpart. If this reading is coming in and around this person that's around you. Now, for some of you, this person is your counterpart. And for some of you, there's projection going on. Again, we always say be discerning. Go into your heart chakra and listen to the real understanding of what's going on. If you've just met them and it's in and around Mercury in retrograde, some of these relationships come up for you to learn a lesson, or for you to learn something from this person or the energy of this person. So for some of you, if this person that's just come in and around you, this person may not be your counterpart. This is for a very small few. But because you want this connection so much, you might be sort of, your image of them might be marred a little bit. And that's what we say about Mercury in retrograde. We tend to have the rose-colored glasses on, and we don't always see things, or we're not always given the full information. So for some of you, it's definitely somebody coming in for you. And this is somebody that you would have met previous to Mercury in retrograde, but they're relatively new. But just stay with your heart. We're not saying break up or doing, we would never tell you to do anything like that. We're just saying have fun with this person, have fun with everyone that you're with. This person can, treat you well. This person can absolutely bring some new messages and new energy into your life, which is what you want. But stay with your heart chakra and make sure that you're not projecting upon them because you're longing for something more. See them for who they are. So that's for that card there. We have the Star with the Ascension Flames, and we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands has been coming up in every reading, I swear, with this masculine energy, this beautiful, passionate energy of moving forward and being the top of your game, and also the Star card. This and the Nine of Cups are probably my favorite cards in the entire pack. You cannot go wrong with this. You cannot go wrong with this card. It's letting you know both the Witch and the Unicorn realms are letting you know not only are you exactly where you need to be, but you're ready not to take that next step. You've already taken it. You're ready to fully open your heart to what can come in, and you are absolutely blessed. And this is absolutely, for those of you who have been planting those seeds, absolutely. When they come to fruition, they are going to be absolutely fantastic, beyond your imagination. So allow for that expansiveness to come in. This person coming in is going to be wonderful for you too. For some of you, it's going to be somebody who's going to be really, really fun. But the person after this person will be your counterpart. So it's going to be kind of quick in that way. So this new person is coming in for you. You have absolutely everything that you need without a shadow of a doubt. So it's not even about hanging tight. It's allowing everything to happen and keeping that trust. Remember that melding of trusting that you have enough knowledge and trusting that you are worthy of everything that you've planted. And we're well aware, Pile One, that what you've asked for is not small chickens. I don't even know where that came from. I'm absolutely positive that's not a saying. It's not small what you've asked for. We know it's huge. But yes, you could, especially if you've been working on this for many, and you've had this understanding of who you were going to be from when you were very young, it's going to happen, and this is your time. So what we're going to do here, I've done this a couple times before and I really like this. I'm going to choose 2 cards for you here, and because this is a general reading, I'm going to hold them up, and I want you to listen to both the Unicorn realm and the Witch realm. And don't forget with the Witch realm too, how much magic you have and how much alchemy you have. I mean, this is all about alchemy. This is all about magic, being able to cultivate it and move it the way that you want. You absolutely have everything you need. Don't underestimate yourself under any circumstances. And when you've been put in a position where it's sink or swim, you've always been able to fall on your feet. So, you don't have to be pushed into these situations before you start trusting yourself. Trust yourself now without these extreme situations having to happen. For some of you, you've lived quite dramatic lives, so you're used to things happening quite dramatically. And this is actually, in some ways, a very, very tiny movement. This is, even though things are falling away, there's a calmness to it. And that's in some ways making you a little uneasy. This is what's, there's nothing dramatic happening. I don't know, and this is how it's going to be from now on in, because you're manifesting at a different level, at a higher vibration. So things are going to come to you much easier without having to go through all of this drama. So trust in the non-dramatic essence of what's going on. So I'm going to hold up 2 of these for you, and whatever your intuition tells you, these are the messages for you. And each one of you will be able to choose the message as it works for you individually. So your first card is... and we will pop that next to the star card for obvious reasons. And your second card is... and this is a definite wonderful way also to work with your heart chakra as you manifest, because you are in a position with your magic to bring what you want in quicker, for sure. This is not going to be years and years. This is coming in for you anyway, but you can bring it in quicker. You have the magic on either side, and you have the passion and the wand to be able to wield it into your sphere of vision. It's already existing. You just have to bring it into your internal world so you can see it and experience it. So this is what we have for you, witch unicorn hybrid out there. Please stay safe and sane. We are sending you so much love and support for exactly where you are and who you are in the world. Stay safe and sane, not too safe. Stay mentally and physically safe, but get yourself out there, because this is your time until we meet again. Stay magical, Pile 1. Take care. Bye-bye. Beautiful Pile 2s. This is your reading. What magical realm are you from, and what is their message to you at this time? So I'm going to close my eyes like I did with Pile 1 because I don't want to be influenced in any way. So you'll be able to see this on camera. Each of these cards represents a realm. We're going to choose 2 for you because 1 just isn't enough. And let's see, this one. And this one. Okay. So you've got the witchy realm here too. And this is interesting. So, all right. So these are angels, right? And ascended masters. So, but then you've got Commander Ashtart here too. So you've got 3. So you've got the witchy realm, call to action, take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. So you've got your part angel, you're part witch, and you're also part starseed. So what do we have here? Moon and cycles. Absolutely beautiful. So part witch, part starseed, and part angelic essence of who you are. Let's get you some more. Let's get you some messages, what they want you to know, your magical realm. So you are a hybrid of all 3, which is wonderful. This one came out too. All right. The Holy Spirit, expect miracles. Remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So your first message, especially from your angelic side, is that Spirit really does have your back. And you have this in common with Pile 1. You're working on something pretty big, on the precipice of something pretty big. Wants you to keep your energy up and trust Spirit has your back and expect the miracles. Sometimes we lower our expectations based on what we've seen before, what we've experienced before, and also what the universe, or not the universe, what society teaches us we can expect. The practical mind, well, that doesn't, that doesn't seem plausible. That's crazy. Well, it happens every day and it happens all the time. And let's bring us back to the fact that we're having a magical realm reading to expand our consciousness, not even our consciousness, that's already expanded, but to expand our imagination and really let it pull into our normal day life so we can expect these miracles and expect that these things can happen. If you're at a level where you only expect a certain amount can happen, the universe will deliver to that extent. So keep the expansion. You can absolutely do this. Working with the moon cycles is something that you can do, but on a larger scale, because this is a general reading, just working with the mysteriousness of the unknown, getting used to the unknown. Now, you're already attracted to the unknown. A lot of you are attracted to sort of a supernatural or paranormal, even occult type themes. But when it comes to manifesting or bringing in what it is that you want, trusting in what we cannot see, the unseen, is something that you can actually move into and really pull into this existence now. And this is something that you can get really, really good at. This is something that you could potentially teach others, or stand as an example of. As it says here, take charge and lead by example, walk your talk. This is something that you've had to surrender to, expecting these beautiful miracles to come out literally seemingly out of nowhere or out of the darkness by surrendering to it. This is a process that you've been through, you're currently going through. If you're still through it, on the other side of it, you'll be able to help others. And this happened to me. It can happen to you. So let's see what else we have for you here. This is very exciting, very, very high vibe reading for you here. And you've got the Master Buddha, increased awareness, deep connection. Yeah, trusting your inner voice, trusting your inner voice, trusting your magic, trust what you know. And again, trusting that what you know exists sometimes in the darkness. And that's a good thing. We often associate darkness with evil, or, you know, something to that level, and not at all. A lot of what you have come here to do is to shine light on the darkness and show that there's a lot of beauty in the darkness. There's love in the darkness. There's light in the darkness. There's gifts in the darkness. It's just a trick of the light, really, or an absence of light. But getting used to working in the darkness is something you can do. Now, for those of you who are witchy inclined, and spell work is just intention. I mean, really, we could say law of attraction in a way, because it's intention. We can say that's a type of spell work. So I don't want to freak you out, and certainly not going to suggest to do rituals or spell work if this is not what you do. So this may only be for a couple of you, or take this advice and integrate it into your consciousness, how you want to see it and how you can work with this energy. But you can work with the energy of mystery right now. You can work with the energy of the unseen. This is the perfect time. Again, as we said at the beginning, this is a timeless reading, but it is going out at the beginning of October. The veil is very thin, and we're coming into Samhain at the end of October, which of course is Halloween, and it is the witch's new year. It's a heightened time for spell work. It's a heightened time for working with mystery. This is something that you can do. You can bring it up to the next level. So how you want to do that and work within the darkness. And again, this does not mean evil. That does not mean going dark. Darth Vader, he was fine and then he went to the dark side. Nothing like that. If anything, you've got so much light around you. That's never really going to happen. Some of you had so much power, you might even have been afraid of your own power. And because people projected upon you, you saw parts of your power as maybe too powerful. You could have turned it against yourself and been a little bit of afraid of your own power in the past. This is coming up, and you know that those were just the external, other people's projections of how powerful you are. You know in your power, you know that you are here absolutely to explore the dark and to see the beauty in the dark without a shadow of a doubt. But you are here to shine the light. You are here to be of service. You're here to be in the light. Now, in previous incarnations, you didn't do that, and that's fine. You had to have those incarnations to want to do it in this lifetime. But you are here to be in the light, and no one and nothing on any realm, under any circumstances, is ever going to be able to shift that. So you trust yourself on that soul level and go into this darkness and see what magic you can make. You are an earth angel, you're a star seed, and you have the magic and wisdom. You have spellcraft, and you have witch energy from Celtic lore. You have it in your bloodline. Not necessarily just from your mother's bloodline, but definitely from there, but from all of your bloodline. It's Celtic, particularly. Druid is coming up for a lot of it too. The Mist of Avalon stuff is coming up too, which is funny because let's go to that deck now. I've got all these decks out here. There's like 10 decks to my side. Let's go and get you some more messages from this, and calmness too, which is something that you've had to learn from working with the darkness and being around this sort of dramatic energy around you a lot. You've learned to be calm. You've learned to sort of work with your energy in this really gorgeous way. So I'm not surprised the Buddha increased awareness comes up, that deep connection coming in, trusting your inner voice, but particularly trusting your inner voice and fusing it with your magic. So you have fire, fairy, creative action and optimism. You have, wow, that is wonderful. You have the owl too. The owl is always a sign of something big coming into. It is an omen of something huge coming in. For some native traditions too, they have different versions of you know, what they think of the owl too. It could be a good omen, it could be a bad omen. For you, yeah, it could be deception and it could be wisdom. So for you, this is a sign that something is absolutely breaking open. And it's a reminder that wherever you will find it is in the mystery of life too. This is something that you want to do. It's also part of your heritage to sort of surrender to what will happen and really embrace what life can give you. You've always, well, not always, not all of you, but you know, you do like a little bit of a plan here and there and like to stay on it, but you realize that plans aren't working right now, surrendering to the process. But again, the key in that sentence is process. There is a process moving forward. There is also fairy energy with you too in this lore, so you have a little bit of everything, which I'm not surprised, even in pile 1 we picked up on too, but I'm not surprised that for you, because there's so much going on that's bringing you and fusing your magic together to move forward, which is absolutely beautiful. And you have the fire energy, this transmuting of energy, this alchemist energy moving forward with this real calmness of knowing who you are and how to move forward. So absolutely gorgeous. Now, before we go on, let's just see. Wanted to do one more from the witchy realm here too. See if we can get one more card for you before we move on to your tarot. So let's see what we have. Air, imagination. So yeah, again, expanding your horizons, going into this sort of unknown territory. Although for you, it's not really unknown, but there's a lot of gifts there for you. You'll be pulling those gifts out for other people, either writing a book or starting, like, again, if you, it could be to do with shadow work too, but the way in which you go about the shadow work will be something completely different than other people have done. Definitely working in other realms, expanding imagination, but there's a real groundedness to you also, knowing how to use the elements. This is something that you could be doing too, and working with the elements either in spell work or just with intention. Again, spell work doesn't mean anything. It doesn't need to mean anything. It's just a matter of intention. So again, something breaking open for you to move into a leadership role. You're being supported. All of these messages are coming in. You're being supported by the fairy realm, the earth realm, the earth angel realm. You've got ascended masters, you've got the witchcraft, and that's your bloodline too. There's druid energy coming in too. There's singing, there's ancient paths. Also, runes would be good for you too, to use any way that you want. Again, how you utilize this, how you utilize runes, or how you work with methods of spell work or whatever you do will be a little bit different than we've seen before. Now, it might be based on ancient knowledge that you're holding within, but you'll be using it a little bit differently, and this will be wonderful for other people. It's like a blueprint of how to get yourself out of darkness or this, that, and the other. This is a realm that you can move in and around and come out of unscathed. Now, that wasn't always the way for you, but this is a natural realm for you. So this is your call to action to put light where there's not been light before. And this is something that you're wonderful at, and this is something that you will continue to do. This is your message to keep going. Something is definitely breaking open. And also you have your guides around you to guide you. They're really, really around you, whether they're coming up in your dreams, supporting you in ways that stepping up in ways that they're usually, you know, I get this understanding or that understanding. There's synchronicities everywhere. Start looking for them if you haven't seen them already. Now, for some of you, it could be lyrics, or for some of you, look out for owl iconography too, or you're already associated with the owl iconography. But this is definitely something that's coming up for you also. With the elemental energy too, working with that balance of the earth, fire, water, and air. This is something, but you've got the air and you've got the fire here, the passion to move forward, and the air, the expansiveness of moving forward with that imagination. Because sometimes when the earth comes in, it grounds us. But for you, you're not needing to be grounded right now. You're earthy, but you're grounded. You don't need to be earthed right now. You want to be up there experiencing all of this stuff, which is what you're here to do. In fact, for many of you, the actual essence of the earth and how it moves, and not how it moves physically, that's all fascinating to you. But society and how it runs, that was never fascinating to you. You were never really interested in it in any way, shape, or form. So you've come into your element now, where you confuse what you're really interested in, what you can do. Alchemy, the elements, moving that magic forward, but doing it in, dare we say it, a practical way to be able to bring it out in a leadership role and to have that success in and around what you are. It also means that stepping into sort of the limelight, because you are light, and as you step into that limelight, as you step into that light, it's all projected out. So it's time for you to take where you are and move it one step further, but the step that you take is going to be quite significant. Now, for some of you, I'm seeing a lighthouse. I'm not sure what that really means. Traditionally, when we talk about lighthouses, it's about putting the light on, and people who are attracted are coming in and are going to be attracted by your light. So the one interpretation of this, and there's a few of them because there's so many of you listening. So one interpretation is just put out your light like a lighthouse, and whoever comes in are the people that you're supposed to work with. It's being very clear that what you do is not going to be for everyone, and it's going to be to the point where people will not understand it. Some people are so rooted to the ground that they don't accept that there's other realities, and that's totally fine. You're not here to move them on. There's so many different timelines that have merged, and people have made their decisions about what they want, and they've chosen different timelines. Now, things can always change and shift, but for the most part, people are where they are. Not everybody, and it doesn't mean that people aren't going to ascend or anything dramatic like that, and that's not what this reading is. But people have made their decisions in what they want to believe in. So if it's not what you're offering, that's fine. Stay very much rooted into who you are and don't shift it at all. Even though those people will not believe in what you believe in and might think you're a little bit crazy, they will never, ever, ever be able to doubt that there's energy around you and there's mystery around you. They might even be frightened of it, as you've had before. We've had a lot of this in the past, the witch burnings, everybody being frightened of energy, everybody being frightened of this, that, and the other. There's an essence of that still exists, and it's been coming up. Everything's coming up. It's all bubbling to the surface. And some people will never get over that, and that's fine. But we're not living in the lifetimes now where you need to hide any of that to survive, whereas before we did. So you stand your ground exactly where you are. And again, those people will never be able to say anything about your energy. They will be able to sense there's something different about you, because there is, even if they don't believe in it. And they won't think you're mad. They'll be frightened of that energy. But what you have and how you use it is palpable, that energy. It's in and around you, that mystery. So with the fire energy, you've got the Hanged Man and the Owl. This is a beautiful energy moving forward. Now, it may feel as though that you're in this holding place just a little bit, but it really isn't. What you're being called to do, and this is your messages, is for you to make it happen. There's something that's in your hands that you can make happen. I don't know if it's about making a phone call, something physical, reaching out, saying yes to this offer, whatever it is that's coming in, or if it's working within these realms and taking it further and then pulling in this manifestation that you're working on, whatever it is. But it's being told that even though you have everybody in and around you, it's in your hands. So sometimes it's a simple way of the universe wants to give you what you want, but you're blocking it on purpose because you haven't said yes to it. Maybe it's a case of, I'm ready, let's do this. There's nothing big that needs to happen. It's not more that you need to learn, knowledge that you need to gain, nothing like that. But there's something where it's in your hands and it's for you to move forward. It's a decision. It's a shift in perception that just can be done by saying, all right, I'm ready. For some of you, that's what it is. But everything's in place, ready to go. You've just got to say, I'm ready, and do it, and put all your energy behind it. You've got the Empress. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. You really cannot go wrong with the energies that you have. It's really, again, about embracing. This came up in pile 1, but it came up differently. The energy was differently, and the way it was fusing together was differently. This is about absolutely claiming everything that you are without dumbing yourself down, but really, really, really claiming that magic within you. And also, for want of a better term, that darkness within you, because that darkness is absolutely beautiful. And this is something something for you to bring to the forefront. Yeah, I'm light and I'm dark. And this is two sides of you coming in, and one does not exist without the other. And it's not about dispelling the darkness. It's not about shining light so the darkness never exists anymore. This is about you stepping up and saying, I am both. I had somebody write to me recently and said, I'm not really sure about white magic and black magic and this, that, and the other. And white magic and black magic, as far as I know, was brought up or was invented by Christianity. There's no white magic, there's no black magic. It's all fused together. I can't speak for Wiccans. That's an actual religion, and what they do, they have very specific rules. But in witchcraft, there's light and dark everywhere. Wherever you choose, you go, and the energy follows you, and you are absolutely in control of that, or you're not, and you will learn your lesson, because nature likes to teach lessons if you don't know what you're doing. So there's light and dark. There's no right or wrong. There's no white magic. There's no black magic per se, although you can go into the darkness and you can work all kinds of different kinds of magic. So this explanation of everything, which is to really make people feel better about, I do this, but I do white magic, so don't worry. It's all about appeasing. And you're not here to appease. You're not here to piss people off either. You're here to stand in the energy of both of them existing on the same level and being as beautiful as they are. And this is the energy that you're encompassing right now as you are listening to this. And this is the energy that you're infusing in everything that you do. And you have all the support from pretty much all of the realms here to be able to do it. As something is breaking open, stay with this energy and stay with it, because the rest of the world, history has taught us, when we stand for the darkness, people get afraid, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to run from things that frighten us anymore. We're here to say, hey, we're going to look at this. We don't need to use anything else to describe it. We are, we're not going to use superstition. We're not going to use demons from the Bible. We're not going to do any of this anymore. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. But there is a universal truth out there about how all of this works. And the darkness is just as good as the light. Nothing terrible. I mean, the night isn't terrible. We often get scared at night because it's the absence of light. But there's nothing intrinsically awful about the moon and the darkness. So coming back to this level of real passionate gorgeousness, which I'm also picking up on, if you can't tell, this is the energy that you have, and you're really encompassing it now at a really, really intricate and intimate level. And this is exactly where you need to be. You've got the Magician. Look at that. And you've got the Page of Wands, absolutely, Liz, this passion moving forward. And this energy too, sometimes the Page or the Knight sort of runs on in there and says, I'm going to do this. And, and it works out to a certain degree, but, there can be a little bit of energy of not quite being ready, but I'm going to try it anyway. But for you, this is exactly the energy that you want, working with the calmness of the Buddha type calmness, with the element of the air, with the imagination. The way in which you're using this energy by barging on in there and doing what you want is exactly where you need to do, exactly what you need to do. Again, the Magician energy grounds you to, you'll know how to utilize and move around this energy. But this is what you're doing. And you're bringing this to the forefront now of who you are and moving it one step further. Again, this is all about being in the light. So for some of you, it's about literally taking that one step further. I don't know if it's about starting or really devoting yourself to a YouTube channel or whatever it is that you get out there and do that. But again, taking your light one step further so it resonates further and further and further out. So you already have a lot of light, but the circumstances that you have yourself in, there's only a certain amount of people that are going to see it. So get that mystery going and really hone in on that element of you. Everything you need right now, all the support is right there from all of your solar systems, from your earth angels, from the fairy realm, from your bloodline, from all of this, your own magic. You've got the Magician magic, you've got the Empress magic, you've got the fairy magic, you've got the witch magic, you've got it all here. And with the Magician too and the Empress, it's this element of really moving forward and being able to transmute energy. You really have this alchemist energy to you. So this is something that, you know, as you move through realms, you can pull yourself back and still you're able to live in different realms and still live sort of in the world too, because you came here to be in the world. You came here to be human, but you also came here to show that there was so much more than just what we've been told. And again, this is the theme globally, right? So you're just taking this to the next level and utilizing that energy specifically for what you are destined to do and destined to become. And even though you're very accomplished in many ways, what you've started to accomplish is also just the beginning. So it's absolutely beautiful. It's not a baby, and you're not a baby out there and you've got to work your way up. That's not what we're saying. But just what you're accomplishing is just the beginning. You're at the ground level, but you're moving up, and it's gonna happen very, very quickly. But your life could be very, very vastly different, like 2 different lives. You would never know, like in 8 months to a year, completely and vastly different. So absolutely wonderful for you. So this is what I did for pile 1, and I kind of like the idea of this. So for these last 2 cards, I'm going to, these came up, okay. I am going to put them up in the camera, and because it's a channeled reading, a general reading, I want you to listen to your intuition and see what your guides and what your intuition is telling you. So this is the first card, a message for you. And this is your second card. And I do want to speak briefly for this card too, because there was a message that came up for you. Because you've worked a little bit differently in this world, and as we mentioned before, just to reiterate, a lot of people have projected upon you. And you had to go through this sort of fractured sense of self where you had to pull aspects of yourself back because you were frightened of your own. Some of you could have been a little bit nervous about your own power, bringing it because of the external influences there. So bringing yourself back and understanding that you're absolutely beautiful. Now you've done all the work to piece yourself back together, and you're fusing that, and this is part of what you do. But again, bringing that all back and understanding that you're absolutely gorgeous, you're absolutely beautiful, exactly the way that you are. You may not have felt that you were beautiful because you always felt that you were a little bit different, and you were here to show so many different roles and so many different things. So of course you're not going to feel 100% in the world that you belong, but some of you could be very striking looking but look a little bit differently, or just not have faith in your looks. And this is sort of a subjective thing, and it's, you know, and it's something from the outside too, and it's not vanity, it's perfectly normal. But this is part of what they want to remind you, that you're absolutely beautiful, and you're projecting the fact that you don't look like everybody else, or you don't act like everybody else, or you're not doing what everybody else does. Even if you do something like tarot cards, for instance, you don't read like everybody else. Everything you do is independent and completely raw and authentic and unique. So obviously you're going to project that onto your outer looks, and as you get out there, this might become a little bit more important, because you want to be accepted as you get out there, and we want to remind you that you are gorgeous exactly the way that you are. You also, most people realize this, but just in case you've forgotten, you choose your own name, you choose your own birthday, and you actually choose what you look like in this world. So you chose to look like this. You wanted to stand out. You wanted to be striking, but on your own terms. This is what you chose. Believe in it. The beauty of who you are. You're absolutely gorgeous. Don't change a thing. But if you are still projecting upon your looks based on how you've been treated, or not being, not being sort of normal because of the way that you've been treated, then you're not here to be normal, and the way you look is absolutely perfect, and it's mysterious and it's gorgeous. So embrace that aspect of you as you move forward into this leadership role, and maybe don't try and dumb yourself down or try to make yourself look like another thing. Just really embrace exactly who you are and where you are, and it's absolutely beautiful, and you will be seen as beautiful. It's just, this is really very much coming from you. So if that resonates, that particular message resonates with any of you, that's who was supposed to hear that message. So that's what we have for you finally for pile 2. We're sending you so much support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world, sending so much love, and also stay safe and sane, mentally and physically safe, of course, but get yourself outside of the box and do what you're doing. Until we meet again, please take care, pile 2. Bye-bye. Beautiful pile 3s, last but not least. Again, we are doing, your reading is what magical realm are you from and what is their message to you? What do they want you to know right now? So as I did with pile 1 and 2, I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes because each one of these cards represents a realm, and let's shuffle them and see anything come out. Okay. Yeah, but there's too many of them. Hang on. Let's do this. Okay, one of them came out. That's one. I definitely want to do more than one. Let's do... Okay. All right. Well, you've got all of those, and that is perfectly fine. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So you have starseed energy, inner earth. You'll survive this. New solutions and beginnings. Beautiful. And then you have, so this is more, there's a magical element to this. So you've got mystery. This is magical. Now, this could be fairy. This also could be witchcraft or spell work. The mystery that came up in pile 2, which is really funny. But this is definitely Celtic. I'm getting for some of you definitely fairies and elementals, but I'm actually also getting leprechauns for some of you too. Sort of wood nymphs, that sort of thing. That's coming up for you too. So we're going to say elementals for you, but Celtic lore coming in, and starseed, and this is the unicorn card. And this is open your heart, love yourself, dare to be vulnerable, and the number 9. So you've got the elemental energy, you've got unicorn energy, and you have the starseed element too. So these are all in and around you too. There is, the first message is to surrender and let go. Everything will be fine. Some of you are feeling as though you're on the precipice of something. And even though you feel as though you've done the work, there's an element of you that feels as though you're ready. You're still not willing quite yet to let go. There's still a little bit nervousness about moving in sort of a new direction, which is totally understandable. A very human trait. So really delving into and acknowledging the mystery will help you in the surrender of moving forward, and accepting that you don't need to know everything up front. All of your beautiful guides are working for you behind the scenes, and everything that you want is right there, and it's ready to be pulled into your existence so you can actually see it in the external world. But there's a shift in perception here about allowing it to happen. So getting okay with the mystery of life, getting okay with it, surrendering to it. You don't need to see all of the signs. Some of you are also clambering onto signs to see synchronicities, what's going on. And, you know, all of these signs are there for you, and you can ask for specific signs from your guides, but they want you to know that they're absolutely in and around you all of the time anyway. They've really come together to provide you a really safe existence and support as you move forward. So, you know, they're always there. You don't have to doubt that. So the new solutions and beginnings are absolutely happening. Whatever you want is on the precipice of coming in, but there's a surrendering process that needs to come in too. Some of you are trying to hold everything together. Some of you are feeling a little overwhelmed by everything. Some of you are feeling as though, oh, you know what, this is the wrong time. You know, maybe I don't have the energy for this right now. You know, timing is everything, and the timing comes when the timing comes. You don't have to worry about it. The best thing that we can say for you is, and it sounds kind of like a cop-out, but bear with us, everything is being taken care of. It really is. Just feed into the mystery. Surrender into the mystery. You've done the work. Let the magic happen. You don't have to control everything. Even your energy is in alignment, but some of you are blocking it because you're wondering about the timing and also feeling a little overwhelmed. Now, this is a timeless reading, but as we mentioned, probably, I think it was pile 1, we mentioned this. If you are clicking in and around it soon after it is uploaded, we are working with the collective energy regardless of when you actually click on the video. So it is It is Mercury retrograde right now, so you don't have to worry. Everything will come to you as it's supposed to. You see, the universe gives you what you are expecting. Now, some of you have dumbed down your expectations on purpose, and the universe is waiting to give you something a little bit bigger. So you're receiving nothing right now because they're not going to give you anything less. They've actually you've set up for something bigger, but then you've dumbed everything down. You're expecting less, and some of you are doing this kind of on purpose, and some of you are doing it quite consciously in that way because you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're tired, or you're not sure if this is the right time. A little bit of doubt just before you move forward is completely natural. Again, surrender into the process of the mystery. Divine timing is divine timing. The universe never gives you anything that you can't handle, but you've been asking for something bigger. It's getting ready to deliver. So dumbing yourself down is something that you're absolutely in control of, and you have absolutely every right to, but they're asking if that's what you want. So for those of you who are ready to really move forward, the element of mystery is there. Getting used to the element of mystery, having fun with the element of mystery, even dancing in the element of mystery will bring in so much quicker what it is that you want to achieve. Now, let's get you some more beautiful messages from your peeps here. So first one I'm going to go for too is galactic energy for you. That's coming up. Okay, star ancestors, hidden secrets, lost wisdom, look a little deeper. So I kept trying to really sit with who you are, like Palladian, all the different star seeds, and honestly the seeds of Mantaka, seeing potential, bringing unconsciousness to light, delving in again from the mystery. This came in a little bit specifically, but a little bit differently for Pal 2. But again, for this is seeing the potential in what you cannot see and surrendering to the process of fun. And this is something to really embark on for the rest of your life. You have an aspect of your personality that's really elemental and beautiful. And again, you've got the leprechaun energy and the elemental energy, which can really help you with this energy. Now, there's a part of you that wants to see what it's going to look like before you move forward. that's just the way you are. Some of you there's an aspect of your personality, we say a creature of habit, but there's also an expansiveness to you too. So these two aspects of self sometimes kind of fight with each other a little bit, and it's a little bit funny because it's not really a big deal. But you can be stuck in your ways occasionally, but at the same time do something absolutely off the wall and get out there and do it. And everybody goes, you have so much guts. I can't believe you do that. You have so much courage. I really look up to you. You have these two sort of alchemical sense to who you are. And you're really honing in right now. And so again, this dumbing yourself down a little bit and wanting to see, all right, I know that I want this, but can I try it on first? I think I want to get this dish, but can I have a taste of it first? None of that is impossible one way or another. You could do a little meditation and ask for them to open it up and see, but really at the end of the day, you're being asked to go into this again in the mystery, because there's a part of you that wants to open up and wants to align fully. And in the alignedness, the way in which you will become aligned, at least the way in which you will do it for most of you, is to surrender. So, for those of you who are sort of pulling back a little bit and expecting a little less and sort of stopping some of these manifestations a little bit, there's an essence of you that wants to control it. You're not too sure. Now, trusting yourself, trusting that the universe knows what's there for you, because as we say on this channel a lot, there's a macro version and a micro version. A lot of people on earth right now are working from the micro version, but if you work from the macro version like the universe does, they can see everything and it all makes sense. So, shifting back up to the macro version, which you're absolutely able to do. You're absolutely, in fact, some of you have written the book on that. You can click back into that and it will vitalize you into getting back into this mystery. As we were saying with the star ancestors, again, some of you are, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that within the star system, and actually you're all of them. So you can call on any one of the star systems. Now, in this lifetime, you may predominantly feel safer or closer to one or the other. For some of you, it'll be Lyrian, and some of you, it's Palladian. But there'll be other ones too that you do. There's Draconian out there too for some of you, and that's an immense amount of power for some of you to have too. That's wonderful. But you've been incarnated so many times from different star systems. You're an amalgam of all of them. So every single one of them can help. So you're being asked to sort of open up your viewpoint and maybe ask for help from star systems that, you may not have known too much about, or you didn't feel as though you resonated in this lifetime. We assure you, you're from that star system too. So it's not just one or the other. I'm not just this, I'm not just that. We often label ourselves, and you definitely have a connection with the star system that you feel that you're from, but you're from all of them. So the answers are really outside of the box, and the help that you need is really outside of the box, and trusting that system. So maybe getting that trust and moving forward with the sort of mystery, and opening your heart here and daring to be vulnerable, daring to move into this mystery can be found with star systems that with guides that you don't normally work with. They could hold the answer for you. And also that elemental energy, that light energy, that wonderful light, beautiful energy that comes up, that can help you to stay in that inner child, that expansiveness. Yeah, it's fun. We don't need to know how everything works out. That's fine. And there's not a control issue here. It's not about control. It's not that. It's just, and it's not even wanting to be safe necessarily, because there's a part of you that's like trying to shoot off and just wants to go in some direction. You're just, and that you work out and you land on your feet no matter what. So it's not a safety issue. It's more that, and it's from your past too. And it's also from your past life. You don't want to be in a place that you have to get yourself out of. So it might be a commitment issue. You don't want to commit to anything until you can see what it looks like, because, you want to be able to try it on and leave it if you don't want to. But whatever the universe is going to give you is exactly what you want, even though you don't think that you want it. It's exactly what you need and exactly what you want. So trust the universe in this. In fact, it's not that you don't trust yourself, you do, but also you understand that whatever you've chosen for yourself before either has fallen flat, not worked out, or you've gotten it and you didn't want it. So there's an aspect of you as you're moving forward. Now you're forgetting that you're co-creating with the universe. And you can co-create in such a beautiful way when you surrender and live in this mystery. Now, if you live in this mysterious kind of element, and it's not airy-fairy, this mystery, there's a plan, there's an essence to it. It's in the surrender, but it's not concrete unless you're in it. And it's not going to work in the way that it did before. And no, there's no definitive specifics that we can say this will work out, this will work out. We can just say across the board it's going to work out, because it's going to be different for each and every one of you. And also there's so much magic coming in. We don't want you to know too much of it. It's one of the reasons I don't do predictive readings. First of all, you can change your life at any moment by your vibration. And second of all, why would you want to know all the ins and the outs? This is part of the magical thing. Only people who want to control everything needs to know everything. This is the magical mystery. This is the beautiful part of it, but you're really very much in control of how that works and how that is integrated into your life. So that's your main message right now. Let's get you some more specifics here. With these tarot, I want to go ahead and really shuffle these well. But there's so much beautiful energy for you. The elemental energy is coming really strong. The folklore too, this Celtic folklore too, I think that was Pal too, but yours is slightly different. The Hobbit keeps coming up too. Those books, the Twin Cities, the Two Cities, the Lord of the Rings, all of that. Little folks on horses, that sort of thing. I've read The Hobbit, but obviously I've not seen the movies. If that wasn't completely obvious, by the way, I just referenced them. So you've got the star. The star came up, if I'm not mistaken, it came up before. I obviously in either Paul too. The star, one of my favorites here again with the Nine of Cups. One of my favorites. You absolutely cannot go wrong. This is about leading you into a new way of being. And this is just not something that you do for an hour or a day. This is a new way of working in the world, but it's going to come with so many magical results. And all of the magical results that you require are right there on the other side. Just trust doing this. And again, this is not a control issue. So all you have to do is click into that inner child, that elemental energy that's in and around you, and that beautiful essence too of the unicorn energy that you have. You know what? I just want to pull one more of these unicorn cards for you before we go further into your reading here with the tarot. Listen to your heart, awaken psychic abilities, tune into the infinite. What did we just say with the number 72? Which is exactly very, very lucky number. And the 7 chakras also. We do have many, many more, but the 7 basic chakras that we have here. Listening to your heart, awaken that psychic abilities, but also tuning into a different way, tuning into the mystery of life, tuning in what you have. And as you tune into it, again, everything opens up for you. You're completely gifted and knowledgeable in what you are doing in order to move forward. But this is really just the beginning. Like we said in Pal 2, I think you're sort of just at the ground floor. Even though you're powerful now, you really cannot imagine your life. You will not be able to imagine it because there's so much magic that's coming to you. So stop trying to do it. It's going to drive yourself crazy. For those of you who've been having like headaches, especially in the third eye and at your temples, that's what you've been trying to do. And it's really, it's keeping you small. And this reading is supporting you to say, we don't want you to be small anymore. We want you to be big. We want you to be huge. And this is the time. And also as a reminder, you've come here to be big. You didn't come here to play small. You came here to be on the sidelines a little bit so you could learn everything you needed to do and do things on your own terms. But this is your da-da moment. And anyway, that suits you. It doesn't have to be a huge coming out, but in any way that you do it will be right for you. But you are guaranteed success. You're guaranteed all of these pieces that you've been trying to put together in this fractured way, coming together and creating this mystery in this life, and just being able to move forward the way in which you want. So yeah, there's been some betrayal for sure in the past. Let's get these all out too, and the 5 of Wands. So there's a few things going on here with the mystery too, and not moving forward, not wanting to move forward. And a lot of this is still in your past. There's a lot of dramatic, or there has been a lot of dramatic energy around you. And there's also a lot of getting infused in other people's emotions and even other people's lives. Sometimes because you wanted to help them and sometimes you didn't. So there's dense energy that's moving in and around you, that's moving out of the way. So it's right for you to listen to that energy and saying, all right, I want to release it. And what you're doing is you're releasing it. And this sounds really strange, but bear with us. You're being asked to fuse with that energy, because in that releasing, what's happening, and this is not always the greatest way to work with energy. It doesn't work for everyone. But for you, when you release it, what happens is it's able to come back one way or another, because you're so open and the energy of it, you're so empathetic. That energy comes back in some ways, and we don't want you to have to shield yourself. You have those boundaries. You had to learn the hard way, but you have those boundaries. So there's another way that you can do it, and only really powerful people can do it, and people who are able to transmute. And you're able to do that. You're an alchemist. Instead of trying to release this energy of past energy, infuse the energy, bring the energy in and transmute the energy instead of releasing it. And then what you do is you transmute that energy into something higher, and you can hold on to the energy that it's transmuted into. And that is just sort of the missing piece of what you do. Now, it's perfectly normal, again, to want to release anything that doesn't work and cut cords, and that's wonderful. And if that's working for you, then please go ahead and do what works for you. Always listen to your intuition. But for those of you who are not working in that, this is the way that you can do that. Now, you may not have been able to take on this energy before because you were still working on your energy sort of profile, bringing in all those fragments together, because previously you've given away your heart, You've been around dramatic people. People have projected upon you. They've taken your energy. It's been a hard slew for you, but you were very, very powerful and you were able to get through all of that. And you are an alchemist. So taking in this energy of, it's the pain, but you're not taking it in. You're taking it in with the process of transmuting it immediately. So you're not actually taking it in and letting it go wherever it goes. You take it in with intention. This is something you can do with a simple meditation. This is something that you can do with any one of your guides. The unicorns would work really well for this. You could take it right into your heart and transmute it immediately into something higher. Betrayal can move, and it'll be different for each and every one of you. Ultimately, it will turn into love. It'll transmute into love. And also, their energy of always needing to be right, being around people who are very rigid and inflexible, always needing to be right, and also purposely arguing for the sake of arguing. Now, there's an element of that in you too, but you don't always need to be right. It's just that you never really felt as grounded as you could be. So if you stuck with one thing that you believed in, that grounded you. But if somebody presented something better and it felt good with your heart, you were willing to move on. But the reason why you were stuck in your ways a little bit, because that's the way you grounded. That's the only way you knew how to ground your energy. You don't ground like that anymore. So actually now you're quite flexible. And in an essence, you were quite flexible before, but you could be seemingly inflexible. People could have said that you were stubborn or you like to do things a certain way. It was a very specific reason why, but you're actually quite flexible. But the people that you were in and around, you attracted the same kind of people. But the thing is, they weren't like you. They were actually inflexible. They wanted what they wanted. They knew what they knew. This, that, and the other. And that wasn't you. But because you had the same sort of energy type blueprint, you called those people in and around you. And that essence of it, we want that gone. You need that gone from you. And this is the last thing for you to do. So you've been releasing, you've been cutting the cords and doing all of that stuff that's not going to work for you. And actually, in general, it's not always the best thing to do, because with alchemists, this is a nice way to do things too. This is what we're taught in the spiritual community to do. And again, if this works for you, please keep with what works for you. The most important thing is that you do this successfully, not that you do it a certain way. That's exactly the opposite of what we're saying. Please listen to your own heart. Please listen to your own intuition. But for those of you who've been cutting the cords and you just feel as though, whatever, I don't feel that different. Bring in the energy of all of that energy that you've attracted with that real inflexibility and infuse it, transmute it, and it'll turn into whatever it's supposed to turn into. Ultimately, it'll be love, but it'll turn into different things. It'll also turn into wisdom, and it'll turn into life lessons for you that you'll be able to utilize. But this is a process for you that you can adopt now to move you to the next level. And then you are ready for that very, very powerful shift. You are ready to move into that element of mystery. And yes, you don't really know how it's going to end up, but again, the trust and the energy there. And because you're trusting your heart and your psychic abilities, because you've transmuted this energy, which is in essence holding you back just a little bit, but you're consciously choosing to be held back too. Some of you are constantly choosing to be held back because you can sense this energy, but we assure you this energy is going to be transmuted. It just is. And you know how to do it. So work with your guides to do this. There's extreme movement of passion, of beauty, and it's this kind of passion that moves forward with, we know what's going on. We may not be there yet, but we trust, we know we've got this. And this is energy that you're able to really click into once this is sorted. So that's their specific message to you. So this is what I have done with pile 1 and 2, because there are... this is a general reading, obviously, and there are so many of you. I'm going to choose 2 of these cards and present them to you for your own intuition, so you can make these messages your own in your own way. I find this is nice to do from time to time to really solidify these readings. So I'm going to leave these completely up to you. So this is your first and then your second card. So your first card is your second card. And a quick message for this one too, for those of you who are not necessarily fearing, but we're just going to use that term, fearing the moving on or moving into the next stage, even though you know that you're ready and you know that it's going to happen. It's a little bit of trepidation there, one way or another. Some of it could be because of your, again, we talked about this before, it's the commitment. You don't want to be stuck with something that you don't want. Again, come back to that trust that the universe has the macro vision. It's going to give you exactly what you need. Sometimes we don't know what we need. We want what we want, but it gives us what we need. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, kind of did want this. Sometimes when we ask for what we want, I've done this quite a few times. The universe gives me exactly what I wanted. And then I'm like, oh God, no, I've got to deal with this. I don't want this anymore. But it was exactly, wrote a list, 10 things on the list, got it. Actually, I got the 11th thing that I'd forgotten that I wanted, and I got that too. And then when I got it, didn't want it. And it didn't even work out because it really wasn't in the path of what I was supposed to do. I really wasn't supposed to do it, but I wanted it and I asked for it. So for those of you who have that commitment thing, because you've been in situations before where you've done that and you've been stuck in places and situations where you really didn't want to be there. Trust us. This is not going to happen. You going into the mystery of life and transmuting it and staying in your energy and being that badass that you are, it's going to be the opposite. Whatever you get, it's you're going to be able to build from it and live spherically, move in every single direction. You're not going to be stuck. There's a part of you that's, maybe you were in a committed relationship where you felt stuck and it didn't go anywhere or something. There's something in there for some of you that's only for some of you. It's never going to happen again. You're never going to be where you don't want to be. And if anything ever happens where the universe gives you something and a little bit of it doesn't feel right, you'll be able to transmute that little bit and move into what you want. Negotiate up. Don't even worry about it. So that came in right at the end there. Just wanted to add that to whatever you got. So sending so much support for wherever you are and for who you are and wherever you are in the world. Please stay safe and sane, mentally and physically, mentally and physically sane, mentally and physically. I am feeling this Mercury retrograde right now. It is just, please stay safe and sane, mentally and physically, but not too safe is what I'm trying to say. This is all about you being outside of the box and getting into the mystery of life. So, but please stay physically safe. We need you here on this earth until we meet again. Bye-bye.